and spring practice starts the final week of March. And so we want to get you set with position breakdowns on both sides of the ball. And we start with the offense and a quarterback, a familiar face, a familiar name back in the fold, of course, in Miles Brennan. I find it ironic. It's almost a microcosm of where we stand in college football today when Max Johnson led the game-winning drive on the final regular season Saturday and threw the game-winning touchdown pass, and then he transfers to the team that he beat with the game-winning touchdown pass. So Max Johnson's off to Texas A&M. Miles Brennan should be the starter this fall, but set us up with the quarterback room.
Miles Brennan, I would be absolutely gobsmacked if he was not the starter for LSU, just because how can you get him to commit to his final shot at a fully solidified pro resume, at, an actual shot at the NFL, not just being an undrafted free agent possibly and then being cut very quickly, but actually, something to build off of. He needs this season. He needs to start this season. His career depends on it. And so would he have just accepted a return to LSU just for NIL deals? Hell no. We've seen those NIL deals already. So what? I believe that he would have to be given the keys to being that starting quarterback. But we've seen this movie before when Miles was given the keys to being the starting quarterback for LSU. It hasn't panned out well with injuries, things that were somewhat out of his control. His on-field performances, he put up statistics that rivaled Joe Burrow's numbers through his first 3 games of 2019. So when you compare Miles Brennan's first three starts of 2020 compared to Joe Burrow, they're almost identical. And a few more interceptions from Miles, but he put up some ridiculous, filthy numbers. You can't contest that. So Brennan has a howitzer of an arm. It's just, will Garrett Nussmeier, sophomore, hungry, stunning sophomore, hungry for playing time. The play extension animal reminds me of Johnny Manziel throughout everything he does. He's very, very confident in his abilities, but he's got a better arm than Manziel for sure. His at least his profile of the potential of what that arm could end up, where that arm could be. Doug Nussmeier's father, he's well schooled. His father, NFL quarterback, NFL coordinator. He understands the game through and through. It's in his blood. So, Garrett Nussmeier, he has a chance to maybe take this starting job out from underneath Miles Brennan. But then Walker Howard, the freshman, like I just said, just a moment ago, talking about Mike Denbrock. Mike Denbrock is not afraid to pull that trigger. If the freshman is the best quarterback for the team, same thing with Brian Kelly, who just loves Walker Howard, they will start him. And in my opinion, is Walker Howard ready to start this season right now? If fully healthy, I say yes. He's just that talented. He's just that good. I think you want to start the Walker era now and start it with Kelly's, debut season and kind of do this thing together. But is Brian Kelly going to do that? Would he have convinced Miles Brennan to return? Possibly. I would think almost most definitely to start. Why else would Miles Brennan come back to LSU after entering the transfer portal? Makes absolutely no sense. But what will he go for stability with Miles Brennan and kind of show these young guns kind of the ropes here in 2022, his debut season in the SEC? Because it seems like that has a lot to do with it too. Kelly's first season, he wants to go with someone seasoned who already played a season in this conference as a starter. And even though it's only a small sample size, Miles Brennan, he was impressive. And it's just the injury history as well. Can he survive those hits in the abdominal region where he suffered that injury? It was a serious injury, Mark. Serious injury. He should not have gone back in that Missouri game. I'm going to tell you that right now. He should not have gone back in that game, knowing what we know now. His injury was yeah. But it's interesting, Mark, with the quarterbacks, the dynamics there. And there's also talk of, going into the portal for another arm.
Miles Brennan with those 12 touchdown passes at the beginning of 2020 in just 3 games on the same pace as Joe Burrow, throwing 60 in 15 games, if you can believe that.